Hey guys, welcome back to MMA Library. Today in MMA and UFC news, Chael Sonnen discusses whether or not Curtis Blaydes can beat Jon Jones in his heavyweight debut. Here's the clip.
If Curtis Blaydes is to fight Jon Jones in March, if they put a belt up for Curtis Blaydes, who nobody's done anything for, who got released quietly, who somehow didn't want to tell you guys that he was released. I don't mean to talk about Curtis's business, but we're now in the spirit. We're going to build Curtis up. And part of building somebody up, you got to tell the story, and you got to tell all of the story. I think the fact that he scratched and clawed and manipulated, however, find his way back and found himself into main events and now finds himself in a title fight, I think he should be very proud. I think that he should tell that entire story. But does he believe that he can beat Jon Jones? We know there's something to be said for youth, and we know that there's something to be said for momentum. Jon Jones is older, and Jon Jones has been on the sideline for 3 years. It's a little favor to Curtis Blaydes. Very big deal if these two get matched up. They're going to do nothing. They're going to do nothing to excite. Nothing. So we're going to have to do it. We're going to have to get this going. We're going to have to make sure that we tell the story. All of it. The whole story. You start to look at that match, you start to realize that when I tell you Curtis Blaydes stylistically is the biggest problem Jon's ever had, you start to see I'm right.
Michael Bisping suggests fans are writing off Jorge Masvidal too quickly. Here's what Bisping had to say. The 2019 run of Jorge Masvidal was incredible. He knocked out Darren Till, he knocked out Ben Askren and scored the quickest knockout ever in UFC history, and then he beat down Nate Diaz and became the BMF champ. But he lost 3 in a row. He lost 2 to Kamaru Usman, 1 to Colby Covington, and for some reason, MMA fans are so quick to write people off, they are so fickle. Granted, we are only as good as our last fight inside the octagon, but come on. He only lost to Kamaru and Colby, the 2 best fighters on the planet at welterweight, until Leon Edwards came along. The thing about Masvidal, and the thing that everyone respects, is that he'll fight everybody. He will. He tried fighting me. He's a natural fighter, and he's one of those guys that's cut from that old school mentality. He's not an athlete. He's not one of the best wrestlers. He's not one of the best kickboxers. But he's one of the best fighters. He has got a fighter's heart and mentality and brain. He's as game as they come. Conor McGregor is currently being sued by Artem Lobov over the sale of Proper 12 whiskey. In a recent Twitter voice clip, this is what the Irishman had to say to Artem.
Artem is a rat, na 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 na, hey, na 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 na, hey. Artem is a rat, na 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 na, hey, rat.
Cris Cyborg replied to this tweet saying, pathetic. To this, Conor told Cyborg she was an abomination. Darren Till recently compared the power of Alex Pereira to the late powerhouse Anthony Johnson. Till said, I think Pereira is a big, strong, massive, slow middleweight. He's slow, his strikes aren't devastatingly fast, but my goodness does that man carry power. I think I'm 2 times, 3 times faster than him, Adesanya as well, but he just needs to land. It's like, rest in peace. I don't even want to say his name because it's a very sad time. But Anthony Rumble Johnson, I want to give my condolences, but I'm actually going to give the example of him because he is the best example of it. That man only had to touch a little finger on your head and you'd be knocked out. I think Pereira has that type of thing. Till then went on to speak about a potential matchup between Pereira and Khamzat. He's young in the sport, but I saw Khamzat call him out and I was like, Khamzat would definitely take him down within 30 seconds. Yeah, it's a fight, but that's not a fight Pereira is ready for. And Whitaker doesn't just wrestle, he uses his strikes in his wrestling. He did that to me in the 5th round. We went 4 rounds of just making each other twitch, and then in the 5th round, he used strikes into a takedown to get me. At that time, I couldn't be taken down. I think he'd still have some trouble with Pereira because Pereira is quite strong. With Izzy, he just played the game again. He looked good, he looked sharp, and he really knows who he is as a person and as a fighter. He's not trying to be something he's not, apart from his stupid quotes. He's cringy with the quotes. Big John and Josh break down the recent drama between Conor McGregor and Anthony Smith. Here's the clip.
Deflect, distract, make counter accusations.
Oh, I mean, historically, right, when injuries like this happen, they put you on some sort of
Steroid.
Yeah, either steroid or healing, they consider like a steroid, something that will help your body heal more. It's in the USADA pool. It doesn't mean that it's a steroid. It could be just something they have on their banned substance list, which helps you heal faster, recover faster, all of those things. Nothing you can say. He took himself out because he knew he was going to pop. And and that's it. So, I understand it. It is what it is. Do you want to heal or not? And he does, and he wants to get back in there and fight. I mean, I don't know if we're going to see him fight again. Maybe we will, maybe we won't. I don't know. He just seems like he's just keeping himself entertained. I feel like he uses social media to get more, to keep the attention on him when he's off, which is good. I mean, it's a marketing tool. That's what it's meant for. This social media was meant to build your brands, to communicate, like to post people about your life and what you're doing in your life, and keep your brand going. That's what it should have been meant for. You know, he's doing it. That's the way he's doing it. Good for him. I don't have anything to say about Anthony Smith. Anthony Smith is entitled to his opinion, and
Sure.
and I like Anthony Smith a lot. So, and I respect his opinion. He does have a point.
In a recent interview, Billy Quarantillo says he's ready to steal the show at UFC 282 when he faces off against Alexander Hernandez.
Chris Curtis, he's not even on the prelims or the featured prelims. He's on the early prelims. And his last fight, he was the co-main event in London. You know, that card was pretty sick. That's the one with Blaydes and Aspinall. He fought Hermanson. He had like a 4-fight win streak. But yeah, he's on this fight card. He was a little bummed out that he's way down there. But there's a lot of depth on this card.
Yeah, funny you said that. I saw him in Vegas when I was over there, and they just announced his card. They just announced that he was on there, and I was joking with him. I'm like, oh man, you're gonna steal my spot on the main card, and both of us are on the prelims now. So it is what it is, man. It's an opportunity for us both to make statements, and same thing with me. I went from Madison Square Garden main card to the early prelims, so it's all good. We know what we got to do, and the fans know. I think it's going to be one of those cards that you got to show up, watch the first fight to the last fight.
Alex Pereira has recently revealed that he was scared to fight Sean Strickland on the night of their bout at UFC 276. Talking about my last fight, Strickland had 25 fights, was doing well in the UFC, ranked number 4 in the middleweight rankings. He's dangerous, he's experienced. I was scared, but when I heard him talk, I relaxed a little bit. He is a good fighter and an experienced one, but he was talking some stuff that didn't make any sense. For a few months since the fight was booked, I had fear, but it was under control. But I'll tell you when I was most afraid. Everything he said up until the weigh-in, everything was fine. When he entered the octagon and started staring at me, he hadn't looked at me that way before. That was when I became scared. He's another person in the octagon, different from his normal personality. I thought, this guy wants to take me out. I'm telling you, this was a different guy from everything else. But, in the end, it was good that he entered the octagon this way because it woke me up. I became aware of the danger. I knew I couldn't make mistakes. I said, man, he's different in there. You have to be careful with this man. I went in smarter and managed to catch him. After hearing this, Sean Strickland posted to his Instagram saying, I was ready to die, just wasn't ready for the hook. Guys, thanks so much for checking out the video. If you like the content we do here on this channel, don't forget to like and subscribe to MMA Library for all the latest MMA and UFC news. We'll see you in the next video.